right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Value TV show, the show we give you tools to build and have healthy relationships. I'm Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic, philanthropist, community activist, music artist, several other things, but it's not about me today. I have an amazing guest on the show. The Value TV show is back in full effect, and I have Dr. Kanari.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. My second time here, so thank you for having me.
Yeah, but I'm not even done.
Oh, my bad.
Today's conversation is one a lot of people quietly experience but don't always know how to talk about it. Cold intimacy and emotional disconnection in relationships. Our topic is how to melt the ice. And we're diving into what really happens when affection fades, communication breaks down, and couples start feeling more like roommates than partners. Joining me today, Dr. Natalia Fuller, physician, entrepreneur, and sexual health educator who is passionate about women's mental and sexual wellness and advocating for healthier outcomes in communities. Together, we're unpacking the emotional, mental, and relational factors that impact intimacy, connection, and healing in modern relationships. This is going to be an honest, insightful, necessary conversation. I got my outline and my notes, so you guys, I'm sticking to a nice, smooth pattern so you guys can get all the things you need. So, all right, so let's just dive right in here.
Let's do it.
I got questions from the outside. Okay. Outside of the questions I have, there's some people that sent me some questions. And one question somebody has is, explain in depth how having multiple sex partners can affect you.
Oh gosh, okay.
We be diving right in.
So yes. I never, when I talk about things like this, I never explain from my personal experience. Okay. Let me just add that. Or am I explaining from? I'm always going to explain from a medical and psychological standpoint, and even maybe sometimes spiritual as well, right? So this is not my own personal opinion. This is what studies show, statistics, things like that. Mm-hmm. So from a spiritual level, a lot of whatever your religion might be, they talk about synergy that you're getting from having multiple partners, right? Mm-hmm. And so whether that's allowing them to have their DNA inside you, which stays, if you allow a man to ejaculate inside you, his DNA stays for a period of time.
Hold on, before you, I'm gonna let you finish. Matter of fact, no, I need to know right now. The DNA stays inside. How long is that?
You know what? Some studies show a couple of years.
A couple of years?
Yeah. Some studies.
The person's DNA is it like starting? Is it married to your DNA or
not so much married, but like it is a part of, like it lingers inside of you.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure the time length, because there's been a couple studies on that. But yeah, so, you allow someone to enter your body. You are, from just an energy perspective, you are transferring energy. Sex is a transfer of energies. So I always tell people, just be very mindful, because one, why do you want to have multiple partners? Now, we know why men sometimes want to have multiple partners.
No, what we not, no. Here's what we're not going to do. Here's what we're going to flow. But if you do that, then I'm going to do what I just did. I'm going to put the mallet down. What do they say in court?
I don't know what it's called.
When the person interrupts, what the judge say?
I don't know.
What do you say when the person trying to interrupt and they say you gotta sit down, you gotta let the person finish? It's gonna come to me, but we're not doing that. Because women,
I object.
Objection.
Objection. Yes.
Objection overruled.
Okay.
But anyway, listen. No, I don't think it's just men. I think it can sometimes be men primarily.
Okay. Well, men or women, I think you have to. You have to ask yourself sometimes, why do you want to have that many different partners, right? Yeah. So I think that's the first step. Is it because you are sexually free, which some people are, or is it because of loneliness? Mm-hmm. So that's the first question. I would ask someone is, why do you feel the need to have that many sexual partners? Because usually, 9 times out of 10, there's something lingering there when someone wants to be very promiscuous, right? And promiscuous can mean different things to different people. So I'm not going to put a label on what I think promiscuous is, because it can mean different things to different people. But what I will say is people that do engage with multiple partners in such a short period of time, there is usually something there. that they're missing or that they're longing for or that they feel like they need, in some way, they need to be fulfilled.
Okay. Wow.
And that varies on person. That varies versus trauma.
I got lost on the DNA part. I did not know that, man. That is...
Yes, you allow somebody to ejaculate inside you. Well, how do you think the sperm reaches the egg?
I mean, yeah, but I didn't think like if somebody...
Oh, that it just lingers?
If somebody ejaculated or came or in somebody, is it the same way if the woman comes while the man's inside of her?
No, that's different.
It's with the man?
Yes, it's with the man.
Wow. That is crazy. Well, let's get to the next question. Sheesh. Okay, somebody asked me, how do you keep love in the bedroom after going through an emotional breakup?
How do you keep love in the bedroom after going through an emotional breakup? Are they still together?
I'm assuming they're together and they went through emotional roller coaster or turmoil, but they're trying to keep the love in the bedroom, but maybe they're not emotionally attached. I didn't actually go into depth of why they posed the question that way, but that's what they have.
So I'll state it from a standpoint of, let's say you guys are now someone's emotionally unavailable, which is kind of difficult to reconnect after one person or both people are emotionally unavailable and then trying to get back together. So what I would say is, one, you're going to have a conversation with that person and figure out where do we sever our tie for one another, right? Because if we're both emotionally unavailable or somebody's emotionally unavailable or we had a break and we're just now getting back together, there's several conversations that need to be had. So where are we at? Mentally, where is each person at? How are we feeling? And exploring in detail why that emotionally unavailability is happening, because there's always a reason, right? Was it because something happened in the relationship, whether it's miscommunication, whether it's money problems, whether it's sexual problems? You're going to have to figure out how to kind of tie each other back together. And so that takes several conversations. That typically takes therapy. That's not something you can skip through, because as we know in most relationships, if you skip over whatever issue you've previously had, it does what? It circles back around. Yeah. Wow. So in that instance, it's one of those things where you need to pinpoint exactly why you both or one person is feeling emotionally unavailable.
Before I go to my next question, the emotional unavailability. Let's say that person was intimate with somebody else 3 years before that, and the person ejaculated in them. I got to get back to this. Could that DNA be messing with them?
No, not necessarily messing with them, but I think, remember, sex is a energy tie, right?
Yeah.
So after you have sex with someone, I always tell people, how do you feel after you have sex with someone, right? Let's say not your partner, but just a person maybe you're dating or getting to know, right? Do you feel energized? Do you feel tired? Do you feel mad, angry? Like what are your feelings? Because I think a lot of times we don't look at that after we sleep with someone.
You know what? I'm gonna be transparent. We might not get through all these questions.
Well, we can always do a part 2.
I'm telling you, but because here's the thing, I tell people when they're watching or listening, you're getting tools right now, and I didn't want to ever make the show where it was like some gossiping and just some. I wanted to have people with educational background speaking. Not to say that the education is the be all to end all, but it does hold a valid weight.
I always tell people, I don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer, whoever, you should always fact check, right? Because I don't know everything. I make mistakes. So scientifically, there's no strong scientific evidence that a man's DNA permanently remains in a woman's body after routine sexual intercourse alone. Most of the time, the semen or the sperm will stay for a period or fraction. This could be hours to several days, depending on several factors.
Okay, that makes sense. The point of the matter is, if somebody ejaculates in you, it could be lingering.
Yes, it could be lingering.
You know what? I gotta be transparent, because I think this is gonna hold weight right here. That when I was younger, like I said, I had friends that were involved in intimacy early. I didn't want to. It just wasn't there. I didn't have this desire. Plus, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, that's one reason I didn't want to do it, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to look stupid.
Right.
You know, so if it was a time and they was like, yo, how was it with Short? I'd be like, man, you know, man, I do what I do.
What age was this, if you don't mind me asking?
I was like 17,
Okay,
18,
okay.
and I ain't do nothing. I didn't want to lose the homie points.
Right.
However, when I did finally do it, it was like, it was cool, but then, no, because here's the thing. It wasn't like, I don't know. It's just this thing naturally, innately that I think God put in me that if it's not right, I can't really. I'm not getting hard.
Right. So you need
like it wasn't just oh, you naked, oh my God,
right.
and I'm just ready.
You want to feel a connection.
That's what I think. Matter of fact, that's what
good.
It was for me. Like it was like. And I would think something was wrong with me. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Because I remember I was at my homie crib one day. He was like, yo, got the shorty in there. She was waiting to see you, boom. I'm like, all right, bet. And this was like my first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there, and she was a pretty girl. Mm-hmm. She took her clothes off, and I'm looking, I'm like, and in my head, I'm thinking, why I'm not getting excited?
Right.
I'm like, and I'm thinking like, she looked good. Mm-hmm. I don't really know her. Yeah. And I'm like, what's up with this? Like, and I did it, but it was like, it was weird. Meaningless. It was weird. It felt meaningless. Mm-hmm. But I noticed a pattern that if I did connect with somebody,
it was even better.
It was like I got excited.
Yeah. And that's honestly how it should be. And I tell people, not that there's something wrong with you if you are having meaningless sex, but I think that you have to explore deeper and ask yourself some questions, because sex isn't meant to be meaningless. We're honestly really not even supposed to have sex for pleasure. I mean, really, sex is really just to procreate, right? To reproduce. If you're looking at it from a biological standpoint, is what I'm talking about. I'm going to the next question.
We're not doing. I'm going to objection.
No, I agree, objection. But I'm just saying, from a biological standpoint, we're just supposed to be having sex to reproduce.
I know we ain't out here doing that though.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you should. If you're going to have sex, there should be pleasure involved. There should be meaningful connection. There should be pleasure. There should be consent, and statistic wise, a lot of women aren't getting the orgasms that they deserve. So I think a lot of men and women, but men should be exploring how to please their partner.
I agree with that. Ask questions.
Yeah,
ask questions.
And both sides.
I like how you slid that in there though. I'm gonna let you slide with that one.
Okay. You don't object to that one.
I'm not. I'm going to the next question.
All right.
How much of intimacy issues stem from emotional disconnection, kind of what we were just talking about, versus physical or psychological factors?
That's actually a really good question. I would say a very large percent, if not about probably 75%. Because
75% emotional disconnection, or
75% of lack of emotional disconnection.
Okay.
Yeah, because sex is not only just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. So a lot of times the couples that I've worked with, if there's a disconnect in one of those areas.
Hold up. I had to interrupt this episode because we're talking about a deep conversation here surrounding sex, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, all these components that can lead to deep trauma and deep hurt. And sometimes you find yourself in a crisis that led to infidelity. Thankfully, I have an amazing couple, my brother and sister, Hassani and Danielle Pettiford. That's right. They specialize in infidelity recovery. And if you want to connect with them, their website will be down below, couplesacademy.org. That's right, couplesacademy.org. Do not hesitate to reach out to them. They have the tools and the wisdom to help you navigate out of that dark place. Now, let's get back to the episode. Peace.
There's either just a lack of sex or a lack of intimacy, a lack of romance. They all tie together, and it's like you kind of need each one in each category to make it work.
How important is it if somebody's, I guess, dealing with that type of question we just asked, for them to get help or just ignore it? Or would they just ignore it?
I would say a lot of people sometimes ignore it. A lot of the couples that I work with.
That's how the bedroom stays frozen.
I know, but mental health, I think
if somebody,
it's just now.
I'm being a little rugged with it. If somebody's doing that intentionally, right?
But it's not intentional a lot of the time.
Right, it might not be intentional. But let's say they're aware of it.
Right.
And they don't want to get help. And the other partner ends up stepping out. I'm not saying it's right. What about that?
Well, I
mean, I definitely disagree. Wrong? Is he or she wrong?
I still feel that you're in the wrong for stepping out.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. because I think that there needs to, one, be a conversation happen and see how you guys can meet in the middle. And if you feel like, you know what, because I've had men and women too that say, you know what, I'm not getting therapy. I don't need it. I don't want it. And of course that causes a disconnect. But I always tell my clients, ask why. Why don't you think you need this? Mm-hmm. If we've tried everything else, why don't you think you need sex therapy or regular therapy?
Does drugs play a role in people's intimacy level?
Absolutely. Marijuana
like
plays
alcohol,
a role. Alcoholism.
Whatever type of drug, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Have you had people where they like, you know what, you recommended like, you know what, you should fast from this particular drug or drugs, period?
Yes. I've had several clients that
have they rebelled?
Oh, yeah. Or we've tried to come up together like a schedule. Like, okay, well, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, you're not smoking or doing X, Y, and Z. And then maybe Thursdays, Fridays. Because some people cannot do cold turkey. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about heavy drugs. I'm talking about, that are legal in their state, some states. So, throw that disclaimer out there. But I think different things work for different people. And you have to figure out what works best for you. Because therapy itself is not one person or one plan. Mm-hmm. Different things are going to work, and there's different types of therapy that you can receive. So it's important to figure out what works for you and what type of therapist do you need to go to. And it's like shopping. Sometimes you go to one therapist. I might not be a good fit for some people, and I say, hey, listen, you need to go to a male therapist, or you need this type of therapist would work better for you. It's not a one-stop shop.
What conversations are Black men and women still avoiding with each other that we urgently need to have?
That we need each other.
What do you mean? Expound on that. I know we need each other. We do need each other.
I just feel like a lot of the podcasts that I listen to, which I don't listen to a lot anymore.
If this is one of them, just be transparent and tell me that I'm on. I need to improve.
No, it's the same thing. Like, at least I feel like here in Atlanta, we talk about the same topics. You know, how women want men to have money, how men are using women, sex. It's like the same regurgitated topics. Yeah. And I feel like we need to be healing our community and growing our community and teaching the next generation that we do need each other. Not that women can be so independent that they don't need men and men are only using women for sex. But how can we continue to create homes and not single mothers or single fathers? So how can we love on each other and have a healthy relationship and have a healthy connection? Because all the other toxic stuff is out there, and that's what sells. That's what people like, toxicity. But at the end of the day, like, what are we doing as a community? Yeah. So I feel like that's more important.
That's actually tied into my next question. Do you think society has normalized unhealthy relationships and called it modern dating?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the podcast, and I'm not going to say no names, but look at some of the celebrities that we have that have podcasts that have created a lot of broken homes, or get on and say, oh, well, I'm not ready for marriage, but they got 5 baby mamas and 5 kids. So I think, toxicity definitely sells.
Okay. From your perspective, how closely connected are mental health, sexual health, and relationship health?
They're intertwined. They are intertwined. Like you...
Because most people will go, like you said, in our day and age, a lot of shows or media are just saying, work on your mental health, work on your mental health, work on your mental health. That's the big...
Which is great, yes.
Which is great.
Because
then there's this relationship health. So go ahead. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Exactly what you said. So they're intertwined because when I used to have my company, Mind, Body, Sex, that's why I called it Mind, Body, Sex. Because mentally, you have to be aware, cognizant. You have to be owning and understanding your trauma or whatever difficulties and challenges you might have, as well as your partners. Your body is connected to your mind. So and we know your mind is very strong. It's a strong tool. Whatever you believe is your reality, and your body follows suit. Even up to the point that there are studies that show that if you aren't feeling good and you keep saying, oh, I'm not feeling good, I'm so sick, that your body will literally keep that type of trauma within, and you'll keep feeling sick. But if you start to say, you know what, I'm feeling better, and you're having like positive affirmations, that your body will actually listen to that. There are literally studies on that.
Wow.
and I study a lot of, I like quantum physics and manifestation and things like that.
Into existence.
Yeah, so I definitely, but not just speaking, but actually doing and believing.
Mm-hmm.
Because manifestation, it gets really deep and intricate. So you have to not just say things, but like write it down. That's the power of writing something down is amazing.
You think somebody can manifest amazing intimacy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen clients do it.
Oh, manifest, like speaking it and saying it?
Yeah, speaking it, saying it, writing it down, practicing it, seeing, visualizing where they want to be. Because one of the things about that quantum physics talks about with manifestation is a lot of people will say, oh, I want to do this, or I want a great sex life, but actually visualize already having the great sex life and then work backwards. Mm.
Mm-hmm. If y'all ain't catch that tool right there, boy.
I mean, you can listen, do the research for yourself. I tell people all the time, do the research for yourself. There's
what y'all need to do is contact the doctor, Natalia.
I'm retired from doing therapy.
I know, but so what? They can still go to they can go to your social media. You're going to have clips like this on there.
Yes, they can definitely contact me, and I will lead them in the right direction.
And never mind. So you advocate strongly for better outcomes for Black men and women. What changes culturally and personally do you believe need to happen for healthier relationships and healthier communities overall?
I think, one, it starts with self. So one thing I'm seeing, and I've done this before too, I'm not even going to lie, where it's like you relationship hop. You know, I know myself, and I'm speaking for myself this time, and I rarely ever talk about my own personal life because I'm very private. I like to remain private with certain things. But, you know, I've been in relationships before, not recently. This is like in my 20s. Where
listen, man,
I don't want none of my exes when I be talking about them.
When I be talking to her, man, she just be, listen, man.
You gotta make sure.
She's, for anybody that's out there looking for an amazing woman, she's only 30.
Oh, I'm older than 30.
I'm messing with you.
Definitely older than 30.
Go ahead and say your personal experience.
But I will say, in my 20s, I would get out of a relationship, and then maybe 6 months later, I'd be in another relationship.
Hopping.
I would relationship hop. And so one thing I've had to learn, and, you know, through going to therapy myself, I've learned is you really got to give yourself time. Especially if it was a very serious relationship, you have to give yourself time to grieve that relationship. You have to look at the pros and the cons of the relationship, the things that you could have did better. And now that's what I do. Like, I was just in a 2-year relationship, and when we broke up, I really took time to soul search and to like dig deep and to figure out, okay, why didn't this relationship work? Why did it end? How can my next relationship, align myself a little bit better? What questions do I need to ask myself? What questions do I need to ask my next partner? Yeah. And so I feel like people got to take time. We don't take time to truly know ourselves and dig deep. And we're not taking time to truly know the other person. That's what dating is for. Yeah. Dating is a checks and balances. Yeah. It's getting to know this person and saying, can I do life, especially at our age? Yeah. Can I do life with this person?
Hold up. You know what? Wipe that, rub my computer real quick. I want to make sure it's still doing what it's doing. Just swipe it. Okay. It's still moving.
Okay.
Okay. Our age?
Yeah, our age. We old.
Anyway.
You old.
Listen, I got my grades out today.
See, and you got the grades out.
It's mixed.
No, we young. We young.
I'm young and youthful.
We're seasoned.
Young and youthful. I can run up a mountain down and take a break and run back up. Our age. Oh my God. This is not happening on my show right now, man. No, but I really believe, like you were saying, just connecting with yourself, connecting with your creator. Everybody, I realize we're in a day and age, everybody doesn't believe in the same God. You know what I mean? I do believe in God, and I do believe when you tap into that and understand how he has designed you, then you just start, when you think different, you start to behave different. And, you know, and you still make flaws or you make mistakes, but you get yourself back up and you start to, you know, improve your mental capacity. And it's easier said than done.
Oh, it is.
But it definitely needs to be done. Yeah, it has to be, at some point at our age, you have to take some level of responsibility and accountability.
And you know what? One thing, before we move on to the next question, one thing that my therapist had me do that was so helpful after my last breakup is she had me make a flow chart of my relationships. And so, and for me, I haven't had a lot of serious relationships because I was engaged actually at a very young age and he passed away. Oh. So dating, I didn't date for like almost 5 years.
How old was you when you got engaged?
I was young. This was right when I started medical school.
Okay.
So maybe 24? It's like 23, 24. Yeah.
All right.
I was young. So after he passed away, I didn't date for like probably 5 years, maybe.
Pull the mic up closer.
Oh, pull the mic up closer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I probably didn't date for like 5 years. But something that has helped that my therapist had me do that I pass on to a lot of my clients that I've had is write out a flow chart of the people that I've dated and how they're similar and the pros and cons of each of those relationships. And you'll start to see where your mental health and your mental illness lies in your relationships. No, I'm just kidding. Not mental illness.
No,
but you actually start to see with each relationship where you have went left.
Mm-hmm. That's another tool. If you're listening or watching, build a flow chart. I'm going to do that.
Are you doing this live?
Huh?
Are you doing
no,
live?
I just like to say that for when people are watching it and listening. You know, it's my mind.
Oh, I thought it was like live.
No, not live now. Not today. How does self-confidence or body image impact intimacy between partners?
That depends on the person. I think yes, it does play a large role because if you don't have confidence in the bedroom, most likely you're probably not pleasing your partner. Because you need confidence in the bedroom. Unless you have fake confidence, which I've seen before too, where a lot of men are like, when they're with their wives, like, oh, I know she's getting orgasms. And then when I do a separate session, they're like, Doc, I don't even know if I'm really pleasing her. Like, how can I tell if I'm pleasing her? So this is the thing. Ask your partner questions. Oh, well, let me break it down. With the body image first, it's important to, of course, have stamina. Eating healthy, taking your vitamins, working out, all of the drinking water, no fried foods, minimizing canned foods, things like that, right? So nutrition plays a huge part in your stamina and working out. But when it comes to actual confidence in the bedroom, what I'm seeing is a lot of men aren't sure if they're pleasing their partners, and vice versa, women too. But I'll just speak for the men because sometimes that's who I hear, because they can't tell. We can tell if a man is pleased because a man will ejaculate, right? But I also learned that some men can ejaculate and still not actually reach an orgasm. They're separate.
I remember we talked about that on the first one.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
There is a difference between orgasm and ejaculation.
There is a difference between orgasm and ejaculation.
I know the difference.
Men can ejaculate but not orgasm, or they can orgasm and not ejaculate. And so for a lot of times when women see that, they're like, okay, well, he's pleased. But men can't really know if a woman is reaching her peak orgasm because it's different for each woman.
Is it different levels of orgasm?
There are absolutely different levels of
orgasm.
How
high can it go? If we were going from 1 to 10. Or is it not like on that type of scale?
Yeah, it's not a scale. It's more so based off of that woman.
Okay.
And how she can orgasm. Is her orgasm at a 10? Like after she got done, she can't even go for round 2 because she's done. It's the best orgasm she's ever had. Or is it, okay, he hit my G spot, but he didn't hit my A spot.
There's an A spot?
Yeah, there's a lot of different spots.
There's an A spot for real?
Yeah, there's a G
No,
spot,
I'm really asking.
A spot, yeah. There's a couple spots.
Okay, you got G spot, A spot.
U spot.
There's
There's about 5.
If you spot an A spot and a G spot,
there's about 5.
Then you about to hit the jackpot. My lyrical words is coming. I might throw that in a song one day.
You should.
So there's a U spot, a G spot, and an A spot. Are these all in the same area?
Mm-mm. And depending on your length and your width, you might not be able to hit certain spots. But that's a conversation for another day.
No. We are already in the weeds. What length does...
I would want to bring my...
Hold on. What length... Okay. Which spot is further up, I guess?
Every woman's vagina is a little bit different, though. So that's the thing.
So what spot... How long do you got to be to hit that spot? But let's call it the jackpot.
Statistic-wise, if you have a 3.5 to 4 incher, you can hit the G spot. Now,
hold on a second. I was listening to this lady on YouTube. Mm-hmm. She was a doctor, but she's special in the sex area, and she was saying size doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to having a woman go through this amazing orgasm.
That's true. That is true. That from a scientific perspective, that is true.
She said, so most guys think because they're big or they're long or whatever the case may be, I put it in there and do what I do, and she's going to have the best amazing, and she was like, that's not necessarily true.
And women will, every woman's experience is different, but some women will tell you sometimes the bigger isn't the better. But some women do like, some women, and that's why I say every vagina is different. Every woman is different.
You're right. This ain't the topic. We getting off topic. Yeah. Hold on. No.
But you can work with what you got.
Let's finish the spot. Which one, how you hit the jackpot?
I just said if you have a 3 to 4 incher, you good. Okay. Yeah, you
to hit the jackpot.
But some women, it just depends on the woman. That's the thing. Because some women like girth, some women like length.
Is it not a combination though? Like,
I wouldn't say it's a combination.
The foreplay, the this, and then boom.
It's about the motion in the ocean.
We're gonna leave it there.
Yeah, it's not about size. It's about the motion in the ocean when it comes to that.
Okay, let's wind this down. I'm the one that took it there. No, actually, I didn't take it there. I was just going on the journey.
I mentioned.
You built a career at the intersection of medicine, entrepreneurship, and sexual wellness. Yes. What personal experiences or observations pushed you into this work?
I actually fell into it by accident. I actually originally wanted to be a school counselor. Mm-hmm. And I found out how much...
Same topic or just...
No, just in general. Like in my 20s, I always knew that I would be like a school counselor or a psychologist. And then what ended up happening was I was getting my master's, still trying to figure out, because I realized school counselors didn't make no money. Shout out to them, though. They put in a lot of hard work, but they are so undercompensated. And as I was getting my master's, I did a dissertation. I can't even remember. It was something with sex therapy and mental health. And it was just out of the topics that our professor gave us. And I was the only one that would touch the topic because, people are very sensitive when it comes about anything sexual. So I get it. So I was the only one in the class that chose that topic. But my family is very open when it comes to, like, my mom was very adamant about sex education, like being age appropriate. When I was young, good touch, bad touch. By the time I was 12, just talking to me about sex. Mm-hmm. So I came from that type of family. Like if I had questions, I had uncles, aunts, and a mom and a dad that were very much like, hey, this is how your body operates. So from a young age, I was interested in anatomy and the human body. And so one of my professors at the time, he had a sister that did sex therapy in California. And this wasn't anything I had heard of. I was like maybe 21, 22. And that's how I actually got in the field. I ended up interviewing her and speaking to her. And I was like, oh, I'm really interested into this. So I did that for a little bit. I worked at an inpatient psychiatric ward while I was getting my master's. And that's where I started working with kids that had just came from very dysfunctional families. And sex therapy was kind of intertwined in there because a lot of them had some sort of molestation or trauma. Mm-hmm. And then from there, they motivated me to go to medical school. So I went to medical school. Then when I finished medical school, I was like, that's when I created Mind Body Sex. And I just intertwined all three of my passions together.
That is powerful. I never even knew that.
Yeah.
Was there a defining moment where you realized your voice needed to extend beyond the exam room into public advocacy and education?
I never sought to be on podcasts. I think what ended up happening, or how I kind of got into the lane of being on OWN and in Essence and doing things like that, is I would just attend events and speak in that area, and it just started to pick up traction. And so after a while, there weren't a lot of people. There's still not a lot of women in that lane. We have a lot of coaches, but we don't have a lot of educators in that lane. And so it's something that just kind of fell into my lap. So then I started doing conferences, and I just kind of fell in love with it.
So how do you balance being both a medical professional and a relatable educator in conversations that can be deeply personal?
I don't know if I always have a good balance, because right now, like I was telling you, I'm not really doing therapy anymore. I might have 4 clients that I currently have, but I'm more so an entrepreneur now than anything. And so I left the hospital. I no longer work at a hospital, and I've been doing entrepreneurship really for the last 3 years. So I don't know if I would say I really have a good balance because I'm really getting out of sex education, but it's still something that I enjoy. So if someone asks me to do something, then I'll hop on a podcast. But a lot of the times, like, I just don't have the time now with my entrepreneurship to really tap back into it.
That's understandable. Mm-hmm. We're going to drop a few more tools. How important is a non-sexual touch in rebuilding physical intimacy?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's so important. And let me say this. It really depends because you have individuals that are asexual, that sex to them is, I don't want to say meaningless, but not as meaningful as touch or quality time. So what it boils down to is getting to know your partner. Something that I've learned in my personal relationships and what I've seen with my clients is we love other individuals in our love language, right? So I dated this guy, and he would give me gifts all day long, anything I wanted, right? And he was very materialistic. So that was his way of showing that he loved and cared for me, was getting me expensive gifts. But that's not my love language. Yes, I do, like bags and things like that. I do like gifts, but I love acts of service and I love quality time. If you can do those two things, I will fall in love with you probably. If you're cooking for me, taking things off my plate, oh my gosh, I'm in love. So, no, I'm not looking for a man.
I didn't say she was looking. I just pointed at the camera.
Absolutely not.
Because, listen, she may not be looking now, and she should not be looking. They should be looking for her.
Ooh, that's a word.
And just take a note, because you might run across her one day in life. It might be 2 years from now, and you'd be like, hey, I remember you on Jamel's Value TV show, and I just wanted to tell you that I want to, take some of that load off of your plate that you were talking about that day.
I'm focused right now on my business and God.
She focused on her business and God. Somebody gonna find her.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Anyway,
that's all I got. But yeah, so I will say that that's important to find out what matters to your partner, right? Mm-hmm. And love them in the way that matters to them, because we tend to naturally love how we want love, right? So because I like acts of service, I'm always asking my partner, oh, well, what can I do for you? Or what do you need from me? And so that's important.
A lot of studying, man. Relationships is work.
I know it is. It is
effort,
work.
Responsibility.
Absolutely. It can be
And that's the thing. I say we like the idea of the relationship, but we don't like the effort, the commitment, the responsibility work that it takes. Yes. And it's on both ends. It has to be mutual.
Absolutely.